Hello friends, in the previous chapter, we saw the beginning of the long-awaited confrontation between Jack Hanma and Pickle in the underground arena. The place was at full capacity, filled with eager spectators. Pickle, who had been waiting in the arena since the night before, remained motionless, fully prepared for the confrontation. Meanwhile, Jack Hanma, calm and imposing, made his entrance with a towel over his shoulders, evoking memories of his past battles in the Maximum Tournament. The crowd erupted with excitement at the sight of Jack, who, at 243 centimeters tall and 211 kilograms, overshadowed the prehistoric caveman Pickle, who no longer seemed so massive in comparison. As the announcer introduced the fighters, describing Jack as the gigantic but agile Jack Hanma, Pickle launched a surprise attack before the fight had officially begun. However, Jack demonstrated his exceptional skill and strength by using his towel to block Pickle's powerful bite, and then, with a quick move, threw the prehistoric man into the air. This unexpected move left the crowd in awe, and although Pickle managed to land on his feet, the surprise was evident on his face. The chapter concludes with Jack and Pickle facing each other, with the tension palpable when the referee penalizes both fighters for starting early. Both fighters remain unfazed, with an intense focus on the battle ahead. This week's chapter begins with the narrator trying to explain what had just happened. Pickle's attack was completely unexpected, as the fight hadn't even officially started. On the other hand, Jack used a towel to fend off Pickle, and in this arena, that towel could be considered a weapon, which led to both fighters receiving a warning. Baki from the stands watched the fight closely. Mitsunari, although familiar with the behavior of these two warriors, couldn't hide his astonishment at how it all began. After clarifying the situation, the referee officially started the match. Pickle, in a low stance, stared intently at Jack, ready for what was to come. Jack, known as the Biting Cyborg, slowly began to raise his enormous fists, adopting a typical boxing stance, with his fists ready to attack and defend, holding them at chest and abdomen height, with his knees slightly bent. Interestingly, this is the same stance that Baki often uses in his fights. With Baki in the stands, perhaps Jack just wants to show that he can do it better. The narrator notes that Jack is now taking the initiative. The Biting Cyborg quickly advances forward, launching a fast jab with his left hand. Although Pickle manages to see the attack, Jack's speed and precision take him by surprise. In an instant, Jack not only closed the distance between them, but also used the momentum to deliver a powerful left punch to the caveman's face, sending him backward with the force of the impact. However, as expected, the punch wasn't enough to knock down the primitive man. He remained standing in the arena. The narrator speculates that the damage was so significant that the caveman, though not falling, was disoriented, and that's why he didn't move. But to everyone's surprise, including the narrator, Pickle quickly lifts his head with a happy expression, clearly showing that he was unharmed. The caveman slowly raises his head and, with a wide smile, looks directly at Jack. Pickle didn't seem angry but rather pleased, despite having taken such a tremendous blow head-on. This demonstrated the incredible resilience of this fighter. Seeing this, Jack wastes no time and explosively charges at Pickle again. The Biting Cyborg didn't want to give Pickle a chance to counterattack, so he unleashed a barrage of jabs to the caveman's face. That flurry of attacks gave him no time to defend himself. Pickle had become a punching bag. He seemed unable to do anything to block or dodge those blows, while Jack demonstrated his martial prowess and the power of modern combat techniques through that relentless barrage of attacks. Pickle, enraged by the unrelenting assault, tries to counterattack using his powerful bite. This prehistoric being thought of using his fearsome teeth to stop those punches, but Jack was already anticipating that move, having reserved his right fist to strike Pickle's jaw with great force, effectively neutralizing the attack. The fight's commentator immediately highlights not only the strength and speed that Jack Hanma possesses, but also that he is proving to be a true martial artist, as he had perfectly predicted his opponent's move and executed a flawless countermeasure. The audience is incredibly impressed. The battle seemed to be one-sided, with Pickle merely standing there, taking the relentless and powerful punches that Jack mercilessly delivered. The cyborg continued to press forward at full speed. Once he was again within close range, Jack unleashed a powerful kick with his left leg, hitting Pickle squarely, causing the prehistoric man to spin in the air. This powerful attack had landed squarely on Pickle's face, who seemed unable to do anything to stop it. However, even after the tremendous force of that kick, and to everyone's surprise, Pickle did not fall on his head. He stayed on his feet, aided by his incredible balance. Despite taking a series of devastating blows to the face, the caveman appeared to be in good condition. The crowd and the fight's commentator couldn't believe what they were seeing. Pickle was still smiling, despite the brutal beating he was taking from Jack. Suddenly, high up in the stands, a formidable silhouette could be seen, someone closely watching the fight. It was none other than the indestructible Hanayama, who was keenly observing every move Jack and Pickle made. After the attack, Jack simply watched Pickle intently, without uttering a word. He remained unscathed, calm, and confident, while Pickle, despite his visibly battered face, continued to display an expression of happiness, clearly enjoying the fight. The commentator then remarks that this battle is far from over, and that, after all, it won't be decided by fists, but by bites. The chapter ends with Jack and Pickle facing each other, ready for the next exchange of blows. However, it's likely that the next round won't be a contest of punches, but of bites. There will be no chapter next week, so we'll have to wait a little longer to continue this fight. Lately, Itagaki has been taking many breaks. I just hope he keeps delivering explosive chapters like this one, so the wait is worth it. Well, it was an explosive chapter. From the start, the fight between Jack and Pickle was shaping up to be a clash of monsters, full of surprises and intense moments. What I liked the most was how Jack demonstrated not only his brute strength but also his technical skill and ability to anticipate. From the first attack, it's clear that Jack has grown as a fighter, seizing every opportunity to showcase his prowess. On the other hand, Pickle's reaction is intriguing. Despite receiving a barrage of powerful punches, the caveman not only remains standing but also shows an expression of happiness, reminding us of his wild nature and love for combat. Pickle's reaction makes the fight even more interesting because, although Jack seemed to have the upper hand, Pickle's resilience suggests that he's still holding something back. Let's not forget that in their previous fight, Pickle used the ability in which he moved at high speed, confusing Jack before defeating him. Maybe he will use that technique again in the next chapters. So far, Pickle has only taken Jack's punches, like a punching bag. However, he doesn't seem noticeably affected by those blows. It almost seems like it helped wake him up, and now he's ready to fight seriously. As for what might happen in the next chapter, I think the fight could turn into a biting contest, as the narrator hinted. Jack and Pickle could take the fight to a more savage level, where technique and brute strength combine with the animal ferocity that both possess. I'd love to see how Jack handles that situation, and if he can maintain his dominance against a Pickle who, despite the hits, seems to enjoy every second of the fight. We should keep in mind that Jack didn't face Pickle in his Berserker mode. It would be interesting if the caveman decides to use that card in this fight. That final form gives him more physical strength, and it might be more difficult for Jack to take him down using the same strategy as in this chapter. This chapter was pure action. It might have seemed like a beating for Pickle, but this is just the beginning. I'm eager to see how this epic showdown continues, and I believe the next phase of the fight will bring even more action and wild moments. I just hope Itagaki keeps delivering chapters as exciting as this one. And well, friends, thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe if you liked it. I hope you have a nice day or night. See you soon.